What we do here is go back.
Oh my gosh, I've been talking that whole time with no sound. Oh my god, dude, what? Anyway, here we have, let me put it back together. Here we have the bust for today's stream. Let me get it all back into place. Start over. Let's start over real quick. There was sound. You guys just couldn't hear it. That's all it was. So anyway, let's go back to the... Here we have the bust for today's... It's a really nice bust. I really like this. The original file is down below. So if you're interested in making one of these for yourself and you have a 3D printer, you totally can. Yeah. So anyway, it comes all in parts, and it's going to be, this bust here is probably going to take us a few streams, and I'm only going to be working on it on stream, so you guys won't miss the thing. And if you're watching this in the future, this is part 1. There's part 2 somewhere. I'll probably try to link it somewhere so you guys can go back, and if you're interested in watching them all, you can do that. Now, again, going through back, I gotta go back up the chat here. How's it going? What's up, Donnie Middlebrook? What's up, Thomas Thompson? What's up, Blue? What's up, Alan Blevins? What's up, James Melton? Well, William Klein, how you doing? What's up, Franz Gruber? What's up, Baltar Chala? How's everybody doing? What's up, Aaron Safstrom? What's up? All right. Alrighty. Now we can go back over here. You guys can see my pretty face. This is where I was at. Now, what I was talking about is that I primered it up a couple days ago, and it's pretty smooth, but I'm going to go ahead and sand it. We're going to hit it with, we got the sanding block, we got the sand pad, we have a little bit of sandpaper here so we can get into those little cracks and nookies, and then I do have my filing kit here, because on some of these fingers, maybe I just want to file them up. Just a little bit. There's some of this other stuff on here. Some of this plastic that's kind of rough. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna say. Okay, if I do this. There you go. You see that plastic that's kind of a little bit rough there? So we're gonna try to file that down. I had tried to file it as much as I could beforehand, but it was really hard to tell. And now with the primer, because the primer's gray, you can really see like anywhere there's an imperfection, it's easier to see. So we'll be able to do that. So yeah. Anyway, if you're interested in watching the whole process, this will be a multi-part video, and you'll be able to watch that whole entire thing. So I'm gonna just start off probably with our sanding block here, and some of this like more broader stuff. I like this one that has these hexagonal pads here, and I just like rubbing that in just a little bit. Not too heavy, but that'll break the primer, and so when we run the sand pad over, the primer is just a little bit softer already to just be able to get in there. And this, you're able to apply pressure in those little points, and because it's spongy, it kind of gets to the shape of the thing that you're sanding, so it's not too harsh. As a stiff, like if you got a stiff block, you could really dig in and scratch in. So yeah. He got distracted by the bust. Yes, for sure. The bust was very distracting. No, I didn't realize. I thought I had unmuted it. Every time, see, like the beginning on the intro, I have to control the intro to switch over to the cameras. Now, usually when I do that, the very first thing I do is unmute the mic, and then I switch the camera. I must have forgot to unmute the mic. Or I probably didn't click in the right spot. I always, just misclick somewhere else. William Klein says he's never sanded boobs. I feel you. I've also never... Well, actually... No, I've never sanded boobs. And you can see it really smooths up. It even gets kind of like a shine to it. It's really nice once you just get it just a little bit. Like I said, I had already pre-sanded it after it finished printing. I kind of hit it with the sandpaper real quick, not too heavy or nothing. And then we threw some primer on there. I washed it off, cleaned it up real good, threw some primer. And yeah, it's pretty smooth for the most part. But I just want to make sure it's 100% smooth before I start laying any colors, and this is my chance to kind of knock off any imperfections and stuff like that. And you see, like hitting the back of that was really nice because it just made that super smooth right there. And because this is just like a hand thing, a lot of people just want to go real heavy, but I'd recommend just kind of just running it over and just let the sandpaper do its work and just run it over the areas. And like I said, it's spongy, so it kind of has some give to it. But the whole thing is to let the sand do the work, like the sandpaper. You're not trying to dig it in. And this is like a fine grit sanding block. I think it's like 320 all the way around, except it has these hexagonal pads here, which I like. Always tech problems, I understand. Yeah, no, that's kind of more my problem, human error. Technology is great when it works, for sure, but that was my fault. I probably just forgot to click the button. It's alright though. It's alright though. One day, like 10 years from now, the channel will make enough money that we'll be able to hire a producer or somebody to sit behind the camera, and even if he only comes in 4 or 5 hours a week, at least the stream will have nice camera angles. You'll have nice pan and zooming going on, and you'll be able to switch the cameras on the fly, and, all while I'm just over here doing my work. One day. What's up, Air Todd? How's it going? Blue dropping to $10. Blue, you're always doing too much. Thank you, Blue. I'd be seeing everybody go live on Facebook, and it makes me think I should go live on Facebook. It's like, man, I'm not popular on Facebook. People don't like me. I was honestly just never put that much attention to Facebook. I put pictures and stuff, and that was it. But I probably should have done more when the videos started popping up. The live streaming. I did for a while, but it's hard to. I already have trouble with one chat. Running two chats was getting kind of hard, and then I tried to merge the chats so that we could all see what people were typing, but it was weird sometimes. Because if you're watching on Facebook, it just seemed like I was talking to myself because you couldn't see the chat because Facebook didn't relay the YouTube chat to Facebook. Blah blah blah. So yeah, and I'm all about live streaming, but running separate live streams, like one live stream here and then having to do another one on Facebook, like separate, and then that would just create more issues. I mean, why not? I guess I could, but man, that would take time. Unless I just did the stuff I'm normally working on. But a lot of that stuff's not very interesting. So I like doing interesting stuff on stream, like stuff like this. Doing the regular shirts and stuff, it's not all that interesting. And some days, like if I'm working on a motorcycle or something, some days it's nothing but me doing this. Just sanding away all day. That's boring. And then if it's just one color, oh hey, we're just gonna spray this red. That's also kind of boring. I'm trying to be picky and choosy about what I want to stream now. The stream of dreams. From Bob in the UK, nice to have you back. What? What, sir? What do you mean have me back? I never left. I've been streaming every Sunday. Every Sunday we're live. Every Sunday, noon Mountain Time, there is a new live stream. But it's great to have you back, Bob. I haven't seen you in a while. Alright, I think I've hit this with the block good enough. I'm going to go back with the sanding pad. And the sanding pad will just smooth out and get into those cracks even a little bit more. To like those areas right in between the ribs right there. Like that, or abs. Those abs. This She-Hulk is ripped, bro. Like the Hulk is jacked, but She-Hulk is ripped. When will you tell us where you download your Lightbar STI files? Just go to Thingiverse and type in Lightbar. That's all I did. I mean, it's not special. It's the same place where I've got this. You know, like if you go down below, probably should have said that again. I said it when it was muted, but if you go down below in the description of the video, you'll find the file to this. So if you're interested in making one for yourself and painting it up and having fun with it, you can do that. The cool thing about this particular project is that it already comes parted up, and then you put them together, right? Like, and they go together like at the seam of the shirt. So when you put it together, it's like you could barely tell that it's not one piece. Like, it's really hard to tell. So it's really good. And yeah, big shout outs to the modeler of this file. I forgot the name. But I think on there he has like this digital, like mocked up one where it's like he tried to like color it in. But she has this hair, and on the example that they have on there, the hair is like a dark green. Now I don't know why. Call me crazy, but I feel like Hulk always had like purple hair. Am I wrong or am I right? The idea is you're talking to people and not yourself, then sanding won't be so boring. Yeah, like that's why you guys are here. That's why I'm here with you guys. But also to realistically show, you know, because a lot of people just see the painting a lot of times. But this is also to realistically show, like, you know, not only have I already sanded and primered it once, right? Like now I'm sanding it again in order to smooth out that primer. So it's also to show like the amount of work that goes into something like this. Before you even ever start painting, you want it to look nice. You know, you might want to, you know, just take a minute, few minutes, an hour, however long it takes to smooth up the surface and rough it up. This will also let your paint stick a lot better, right? But, you know, with a 3D printed file like this, you get a little bit of those layer lines, but you could easily take them out with just a little bit of just prep, work. And it's something I see a lot of people just ignore, just totally put it off, or they just won't do it or don't do projects that involve any prep. But I feel like when you do some prep, you end up with a much better finished product. That's just me. It's like you got something you want to make look nice. It's kind of old, you know, but if you don't sand off all the like the rust and the old paint, and resurface it, basically, like, it's not going to come out very nice if you just spray paint some paint on there. That looks pretty darn smooth. She's like so smooth, she's shiny. Let me see, look. Can you see that? Look at the light off of her body is like shining back. But it's nice and smooth. Looks good. And then the rocks too. The rocks already have a lot of jaggedies, and sanding the rocks was more about just getting the paint to stick. Even though this is primer, so pretty much everything is going to stick to it. Cool, we got that main part out. Let's just sand up the hands real quick. The arms, I mean. How long did it take to print this? Was it rattle can primer? Yes, this is just regular sander, fillable sandable primer. That's what it says on the can. This took, I think, in total, because these arms only take like an hour and a half to print. The head was only like an hour. The hair was like maybe 2 hours. So like what? It's like 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this was like maybe 8 hours or something like that. I don't know. You could get it all printed out in one day if you really wanted to. Probably leave this printing overnight, and then when you get up in the morning, you know, all your parts are done. When I can make any extra money, maybe I can buy a resin printer someday. Yeah, resin printers are pretty nice. The only thing I've seen that kind of worries me a little bit is that the resin is kind of brittle after you print it. This kind of has like really good strength to it. I can't break it, but I've seen that a lot of that resin, it kind of breaks. It's more breakable. I don't know, but they do the detail on some of those is just the detail, and the fact that you can print out some stuff that's like it's harder to print on a, what is this called, the FDM printer or whatever. That's the only thing with resin printer. I was just like, oh man, some of those things I've seen print on those resin printers, it just looks so dang detailed, and it's like, man, yeah. But then the size too, like look how big this is. I guess I don't know, I'd have to probably split this one up too, because most of them are pretty small, the resin printers. I don't know. I don't have much experience with resin printers. That's all I'm going to say. I definitely, if you can get one, I would. I'm not going to advise against it, but to me, in my case, I was also like, I better learn how to crawl before I try to start running, you know, so I just got a regular 3D printer. And I also got one that had like lots of upgrades and stuff available. Like the Ender 3 has so much stuff available you could buy and tinker with. For that particular purpose, because that's kind of how I learned what I need to do and stuff. So. But I definitely do want to get a resin printer next. I think it would be pretty cool. And I guess I should try the whole brittleness thing for myself too, instead of taking somebody else's word for it. And the thing I like about PETG right now too is that, the reason I ended up going with printing out with PETG is the strength of it. Obviously, that was a really big plus. But I like the fact that it's like sandable, it's paintable, it's compatible with like most types of paint and primer and you know, whatever. It's not gonna have a negative reaction. It's not gonna melt away or anything like that. So after just doing a little research on the material, that's kind of why I ended up on PETG. But definitely I will look into more in the future and different style of printers. Because yeah, I definitely like my 3D printer a lot, and if I had a buddy, you know, it'd be nice. Does this 3D printer make smelly smells? No. So that was also one of the things why I went with PETG, is because printing with ABS, supposedly it like leaks off of like some kind of hazardous fucking chemical, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. I wanted to be able to have it in my view, so like I have it in the house, right, not out here. And that was also a major thing. So if you print out with ABS and some of the other materials available, there is some some that put out harsh chemicals while they're printing, so you gotta do your research and stuff. And some of them definitely say they require a ventilator or something. And I mean, I could always put it in the booth right there, but like I said, I wanted to have it to where I could see it in case there's a failure, a malfunction or something. I could see it and stop it right away instead of having to come out here and check on it. Hello, Ron. How's it going? Can you use a sanding tip on a Dremel to get it to the smaller parts? Yeah, you can. If you really wanted to be that harsh with it. If you feel like there's some areas where you can't really get to. In this particular case, I'm more worried about the outside because this sits up against her head right there. Right, like that. So you don't really get to see the inside of the hand all that much. So the inside of the hand doesn't worry me as much as the outside. So I got the outside nice and smooth. And then this is going to just get glued onto there. So that we won't have to worry about that. But I do want her arms nice and smooth. So I made sure to get those really good. And what we'll do today is obviously we're going to finish sanding it up, but then we're going to lay down like our foundation colors. So I'll start in by laying some sealer, right? And we're going to probably use sealer yellow on most of this, probably on the whole. Do I have white? I do believe I have white still. Maybe we'll lay white just so we can get a bright. I was thinking yellows so we could get a nice bright greens out of it. And give us a good base to work off of, but white would also work. I'll have to see what I have up there. But we can lay down a sealer, and we'll lay down our base colors. Maybe we'll do a little masking just so we could get most of those base colors in there without overlapping too much. And then that's going to probably be it for today. That's going to probably take a while because the base, like this is gray, then we've got this green, have to lay the base color for the shirt, and just doing all that, and it could add up to some time. But the next time we come back, hopefully part 2, we could finish it. If not, there's going to be a third part, but I believe we could get it done in 2 streams. And I want to do it all on stream because I know a lot of people like watching the project complete, like the whole from start to finish. And anytime I don't show something, it's kind of like, oh, well, what did you do there? I ain't hiding nothing. I just kept doing what I was doing. So yeah, like a lot of people don't ever see all the prep that goes into these. And maybe they think that when they're prepping their project or something, maybe they're just it's not necessary, or they're taking too much time, or whatever it is. But really, you should always make sure your surface is nice and smooth and clean, and you'll get the best the best look overall. Not just on 3D printed projects like this, but if you're painting a motorcycle or whatever it is. Make sure your surface is smooth, clean, and you'll end up with a nicer painting. Your shading and everything will just come out like a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. So. The only thing that sucks about doing little stuff like this is your hand can get cramped. Like that's where my hand is right now. It's like it's cramped from just holding this little small thing so long. This hand. Not even the hand I'm using to sand. So you wanted to be an airbrush artist, huh? How good's your sanding skills? Well, I can sand the blacktop smoother than your mom's bunker. What? Yeah, you heard me. What color? Oh yeah, I was talking about her hair. So on the design that they have on the example or whatever, where you get the 3D file, they have an example, and she has dark green hair. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought Hulk always had like purplish hair, right? Like purple dark hair. Anyway, I was thinking of doing her hair purple because I just thought that's what the color it was, and I thought it would contrast really good as opposed to just having a darker green color on there, which will still look pretty good, but you know, it's not quite the same. Some lime green hair in her armpits. In the comics, I believe her hair is green. Hulk and She-Hulk usually wear purple clothes. Yeah, purple clothes. Yeah, that's what her thing was. Green hair though, huh? In the comics, should we do it green then? I mean, I'm down. I just, for some reason in my head, I think it would look better with purple and pink. But I don't want to disgrace She-Hulk, you know? I'm sure they chose green hair for a reason. Go. I'm just making sure that they're about equal. You know, I don't want one to look really rough and the other one really nice. That wouldn't be good. Now, because these are like weird fingers, this is where the supports were for the fingers, right? So that, like, it just has a rougher edge wherever those fingers were printed on, like that. Oh geez, your hair is really blonde.
I told you.
I like that dress a lot.
I know you do.
That one's nice. It matches your hair too.
You're still sanding.
Yeah, okay, what do you want from me?
Oh, it's only
Hold
been
on.
30 minutes.
Oh, it's only been 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I only got 2 little pieces left to sand.
Oh.
So. Where are you gonna go somewhere or something or what?
Yeah.
What?
All the kids are sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go anywhere by myself.
I'm telling you, I can't even. I wanted to go to the range, but Jonathan's still asleep.
Hi, Blue. I'm sure she can hear me.
Yeah, she can hear you. Stay true to the comic. Okay, cool.
Purple and green.
No,
Right?
in the comic, her hair is green.
But isn't she purple? Or her clothes are purple?
Her clothes are purple. Yeah, she has purple. Her thing right here is supposed to be purple with white.
Oh.
What is it? Can you make me another coffee,
Oh.
please? Always coffee. Yeah. Told you, if you ever meet me in person, you want to score some brownie points. Just show up with a good coffee in your hands. Hey Mike, you want a coffee? I mean, yeah. Oh hey, where'd you come from? My wife complains, but she's the one that got me started drinking coffee. I used to be a regular energized person. A regular energized. I just got powered off fuel and the sun. I would just go outside and I'd be like, oh, I'm ready for the day. No, not anymore. Now I'm like, don't talk to me till I have coffee. I don't know you. Don't talk to me. And then she has the audacity to complain when I ask her to get me a coffee. I drink Death Wish coffee myself. I don't know what that is, but it sounds delicious. I like how she came in here and said, you're still sanding. When I told her earlier that I hadn't even got to sanding it yet and I had to do it on stream. And she knew this is one of those things, right? Where she goes like, yeah, paint my car. And I'm like, oh yeah, like just paint the car real quick, And that's how people show up, like, hey, can you do my car? It's like, yeah, like it's going to be about this much in labor and stuff. Oh no, I just want my car painted. It don't gotta be like show quality. I said, yeah, this is for regular quality. Oh, I think I'll go to Mako. Yeah, you can go to Mako, man. It's like, I'm sorry, bro. I don't work for free. And it ain't easy. It's not gonna happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? With this, I mean, it might happen overnight. It's just a 3D printed little hook thing, but do I want to do it overnight? Not really. I want to take my time. I want to give stuff time to dry. And here on her face, I'm just making sure to get as much as these, get it as smooth as possible is basically all. And for anybody wondering, this sandpaper in my hand is about 240 grit. It's a little bit rougher than the sanding block. But it's still nice enough that it'll leave a smooth surface. That looks pretty good. Yeah, the detail, like, check out the detail on that printer. It's really good. Like, all things considered. Pretty darn good. Try chewing whole coffee beans. Chocolate covered coffee beans. I've never... You could do that? I didn't know you could do that. Oh, you guys are opening a whole new box here. Is there like at least like a hot green in the comics? Like, because the example that I seen, it's like a darker green, like a forest or like a swampy green. It just didn't. I didn't like the way it looked. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like the way it looked. Dark green. It was a dark green turdy color, and I did not like it. And I thought purple, like hot pink with purple tones, would just make a way sicker She-Hulk kind of thing going on. I don't know why you would think green on green would look good. I always thought Hulk had blue hair, like the regular Hulk. I mean, I thought he had purple hair. I might be wrong, but didn't the regular Hulk, not the She-Hulk, the regular Hulk, didn't he have purple hair? I always thought, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. If not, they should. It would look sicker. It would look way nicer. Nope, he does not. I don't know if you missed the question. Would it be easier to dip a sanding tip on a Dremel for the fine details? Yeah. I said yeah, you could if you wanted to. If you really want to get in there on some of that stuff, you definitely could take a Dremel. Not something I want to do right now. Nor do I have tips that fine to like get in between the hair strands and stuff. I don't have tips that fine. I have to get some jewelry types tips. That, and I don't think this is that serious. I mean, I guess you could if you want to make it like super A+ quality, whatever. But for me, for my shelf, like this is just for me. I don't think that's all that necessary. I think the paint is going to really change it more than... And like I said, the 3D printer does pretty good detail as it is. Sanding it is more for smoothness and for adhesion. But of course, like... what's a good example? Like right here where this lettering is, maybe. Say like if you see something, see if we could get in close to see something. I'm probably never gonna look at it this close. But like say in between the letters in there, like you see that those little tiny you see the little tiny edge right there? Oh my god. Yeah, I mean you could definitely hit that with the Dremel in there if you wanted to. You want to smooth it out. Now this whole bottom piece is supposed to be kind of like a concrete kind of thing, so I actually think like that some of that texture would look like it just looks cool. Like it has some in there. If you can see that from the 3D printing. So I left that so that kind of looks like it's kind of shredding up or whatever it is. I don't know, but yeah, you definitely could if you have a Dremel and fine tips. You could definitely get in there. I ain't gonna tell you no. I just gonna say not me. What printer do you have? So I have an Ender 3. We've gone through that. Go to a candy store. You'll love the chocolate espresso beans. Trust me. I guess, I don't know. It sounds good. Chocolate and coffee just sounds good. Yeah, I have like my files here, and some of those are like fine tip files, and I thought I was gonna need them, but honestly, this looks pretty good without it. Like I don't think I need to go that much more into detail. Oh, this is pretty smooth from what I could see. So let's kind of just. Gonna just put her together real quick. And yeah, she looks like silky now, like silky smooth. And yeah, it definitely even went together a little nicer now that those areas are sanded in. So definitely looks really good. I think this is just a cool little sculpture thing. Even if it was just like that in primer, you put this up on your shelf, you'd probably have people walk up and go, "Oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that?" But of course, in my house, it has to have paint. And I'm undecided of when I'm going to actually glue it together. I think at some point before I do the very end details, I will glue it together. And then at the very end, we'll do all the fine details at the end, just to be able to kind of blend some of that stuff in and make sure it all kind of goes together. Alright, so we got that all sanded up. I'm going to go and get a rag real quick so we can wipe it off with some wipe out. And then we'll lay some sealer. But let me go get a rag real quick. Ugh. This is the white sealer. I'm going to just give it a little pre-shake and then I'll shake it up some more. White sealer will work pretty good. Just so we get the brightest colors and then we could tone our way down from there. So I'm going to just take a little bit of this wipe out. And we're going to wipe it off. Again, this is just to get the paint adhesion. The last thing I want to do is just have this paint just come off or something. Like I'm just wiping it off one day, after it's been sitting on the shelf. And then it just gets wiped off or something. And that would just be like a no, not a good day. You can see the rag would change colors. Also, this will get a lot of that dust from the sanding and stuff. That'll make sure that you at least get some of that off of there.
I didn't forget about you.
I thought you did. I was like, oh, I'm not getting coffee.
No, I had to make Violet breakfast.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
She was like, I need breakfast.
Well, she ain't lying. Did she need breakfast or not?
Chocolate bread and eggs and juice.
Mmm. Just got done putting new motherboard and direct drive on your Ender 3. Nice. Why did you upgrade the motherboard? I wonder. Mine came with a 32-bit board out of the box. Because that was one of the upgrades I thought I was going to have to do. It's like, oh, But at the same time, it's also something I was kind of looking forward to because it's like I just like to tinker with stuff. But when I opened it up, mine already had a 32-bit board in it. It actually had a lot of stuff that a lot of the videos that are online don't show it having. So it's a very nice surprise that I got, like, I don't know if it's like a newer model or an upgraded model or something, but it's just a regular Ender 3. But now I've upgraded it, changed a bunch of stuff out and stuff, so I feel you on the replacing parts. It's always fun. I just like having fun tinkering with stuff. It's like a RC car that makes stuff. Chocolate and coffee equals mocha. The fan ports went out. Oh man. Jeez, you've been using that bad boy heavy. Let those dry up for a second. Have some coffee. Cool. So we're going to start off by laying in some white sealer. Simple stuff. I think I'm going to pre-mix some here, just so I could have it ready whenever I need it. White sealer. Bam. And we'll throw some in here. We throw about 10% reducer. And we'll have our sealer pre-ready here, so. Open sesame. Oh. Man, when was the last time I opened this? It's really stuck shut. Come on. Come on, muscle man. Open it up. Oh my god, am I gonna have to get some pliers? Oh, where are the channel locks, boy? Where are the channel locks? Yeah. One thing about it being closed up tight is that you know the paint's good. Pour without spilling. Oh. Okay. Let's try not to spill no paint. There we go. Ugh. Let She-Hulk open it. Yeah, right? I like my daytime coffee with Northern Lights mixed in. She's like, call Jessica. Oh, yeah, that'll be lots of help. Oh, you guys are just too funny. I don't know why. A random thought just popped into my head. It's like, what if we covered She-Hulk in silver and then we did her candy green? Talking about those northern lights. Alright, then we get this shaken up in here. And now we have white sealer pre-mixed. We'll add this into our little paint tray back there. So we'll have all the colors pretty much. We have all the Wicked colors. I still haven't added in the new flare colors into the mix. Or the metallics. So we still have to add those. I'm probably going to have to print out another paint rack with more and order more bottles. That way I could pre-mix candies and I have all the candies ready. Then I'm going to have all the colors. Boy, all the colors! Alrighty. Finally, we're at the point where we get to spray some paint. Isn't that fun? Now, if you wanted to totally just brood it, you probably could. And I wouldn't blame you if you just started just pouring on green and whatever colors you wanted. Wouldn't blame you at all. My particular case, I want a nice bright top coat. A nice bright layer to work on so that our colors will be super bright. And this is sealer, so it'll also kind of be a good base for laying our paint down and making sure that everything sticks really good. This adhesion on the sealer is probably the best out of all the Createx type paints. So yeah, and I'm just gonna kind of just layer it in, and I'm going to go back and we'll do another coat in a minute. Now, I don't know how much this is going to change on camera, but I know in person it almost looks exactly the same. Are you sure it wasn't white when you started? No, it definitely was gray. And we're not laying this in heavy, like I'm laying it in with an airbrush to start. We're using the GSI Creos 289, which is a 0.3. So we're just building up nice fine layers of sealer. The sealer has about 10 to 15% reducer in it. And we're just nice and lightly just kind of building it in. We don't want to make the surface wet. We're not trying to make it run. It's too late to try to you want to fill something in or anything like that. At this point, it's just about just building up the color in order to have a good base for all our other colors to go. Now, if, like I said, I was debating on doing yellow base, a yellow sealer first, because, She-Hulk is green. So that would give us like the brightest greens. But because we do have this concrete base and like her hair is purple I mean, her hair's green. You know, it makes more sense to go in with a white, and then we'll lay down our wicked colors, you know, over that. All right, so we'll let that one dry for a sec, and we're gonna give all of this a couple coats. Now on this hair, I'm gonna worry more about the outside. You know, like as this is the outside part. Then I am gonna worry about the underneath, and the reason is because it faces her back, so you can't really see that when it's on the sculpture. We are gonna give it, you know, a nice coat of sealer and stuff, but you know, you'll see me definitely like I'm gonna try to get the outside nice and bright first. I should probably turn on the ventilation because it's starting to get a little cloudy in here. Alright, maybe I'll just open the garage door. Dry. How do you mix the creative paint to flow through the gun? So Createx paint will actually flow through an airbrush without doing anything to it. Right? First off, let's get that out of the way. If you have a correct air pressure and you put Createx paint straight out of the bottle in your airbrush, and with like a 0.5 millimeter airbrush, you can spray Createx paint straight out of the bottle. A lot of times I've used it here straight out of the bottle on these airbrushes, but all it's going to take is a little bit more air pressure. So this is one of the biggest things I've seen new airbrushers, like one of the biggest mistakes or things that ends up holding people back. Maybe it's not a mistake. I shouldn't call it a mistake. It's just one of the things that people don't really take into consideration when they're first getting into airbrushing. And if they don't get the right thing, they end up being limited and having issues that could be solved. And that is having a good compressor, right? That's going to push out the correct amount of pressure, and you know, it's not going to overheat. It's not going to produce moisture, stuff like that. And so I see a lot of people will end up getting like one of those little small airbrush compressors, and they end up having lots of issues. And at the end of the day, the best advice I could end up giving one of those people is upgrade your compressor. You're gonna need something with a tank and something, you know, that's gonna be able to run for a consistent amount of period. Like, you know, like you want to be able to spray for at least an hour without the compressor having any issues. And the best way to mitigate that is to have a big tank. You know, the bigger the tank on the compressor, the less likely it is to turn on. Of course, when you're painting small stuff like this, you don't really need a huge shop compressor, right? But like having something with like a 5-gallon tank or something like that definitely helps a lot. And I know a lot of people have issues spraying paint, and a lot of the times it's because they didn't even take into consideration the air pressure. You know, they just set it at 20 psi and they just throw some paint in and they just think that it's supposed to just come out beautiful, and it's just like no. You know, the air pressure is relative to how thick your paint is and to how wide your needle is, right? All of that has factored into how well your airbrush is going to spray. And having the finest airbrush with the finest needle and trying to run the finest paint is not usually the best solution for a lot of stuff. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes all you need is a decent airbrush and a good source of air. And most of your issues, you know, will be ones having to deal with skill and time as opposed to equipment. And that's where you want to be, right? You want to be limited by your skill and not by your equipment. Because then you'll get frustrated. Because if your skill supersedes your equipment at one point, you're going to be let down, right? You're going to want to stop. You're going to be like, oh, well, I can't do that. You can't do this. When in reality, you could. You just don't have the equipment to do that, which is a whole different shebang. After painting it white, it almost looks like it's made out of like porcelain or something. What is the best pressure? Like going back to what I was just saying, there is no best pressure. You know, it's all going to be relative to how you're spraying, what you're spraying, how far you are from what you're spraying, how thick your paint is, what needle do you have, like what needle size. You know, it's all relative. But a good starting point for if you're just starting to airbrush, I would say about 30 psi. Put paint pretty much straight out of the bottle. Don't use no reducer or nothing. And just learn to spray with that first. And just focus on getting good consistent lines more than anything. I think people try to focus right away on getting like super detailed stuff right away. And it's just like, you know, sometimes it's better just learn the basics. So if you just learn to do nice broad strokes and stuff, and then off of those broad strokes, and then you just start working smaller and smaller and smaller, you'll have a lot better time as opposed to just picking up an airbrush and just going, I'm going to paint super fine stuff. You know, like that's not how that works. You're going to have a harder time trying to learn. Definitely after painting it white, it looks like it's made out of like clay or porcelain or something. What is it? So yeah, it's all going to be like depending on what you're doing, right? But I would definitely say play around with it, experiment. Don't just. There is not just one place you're going to be. A lot of times you'll see me here and you'll see me like, oh, I got to turn up the pressure, and I'll say it. And then you'll see me just turn up the pressure a little bit. I don't always say what pressure I'm working at and stuff because I can't really see it from here that well. And most of the time it's just going to be depending on what you're doing anyway. So there's not no point in me going, oh, I'm at 27 psi. Oh, I'm at 32 psi. Oh, I'm at 21 psi. You know, it's like do what's comfortable for you. But I would definitely experiment. Start off around 30. Don't reduce your paint. If you feel like it's not working quite right, maybe up the pressure a little bit. And yeah, it'll be harder to like, you know, it's not going to be harder to control. What would be the word here? Actually, you're going to get a lot faster paint flow is the proper term, I guess. And so you're going to want to deal with that by moving faster and stuff. But from there, then you can have a good idea, reduce your paint a little bit, and move around from there. You really want to get a good base down on, just your basics. And I believe spraying just regular paint, just not reduced, works the best. I feel like that's why a lot of t-shirt style airbrush artists end up having just a lot more flexibility when they transition over to other types of art. Is because they've already kind of been dealing with paint unreduced and just straight out of the bottle and just focusing on spraying stuff as opposed to worrying about paint mixtures. And they've developed their finger so well that when you start giving them stuff, teaching them about paint, that they do a lot better right away, because then they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, that kind of thing. So I don't know. Cool, so we got all the white in there. Just gonna rinse out this airbrush real quick. So at the line where it connects to the compressor, like off the compressor, I have it set to 60 psi, because theoretically I'll never use more than that to airbrush. Then here I have another regulator, not a Mac valve, but another regulator right here with another moisture trap. There's one with a moisture trap at the compressor, then there's another one here with a moisture trap and a regulator and everything here, and then this is the one I control here. And that's kind of how I do that. And I can just reach over and do this at any point. Right now it's a little bit out of the way, but the air pressure is like, I'm not worried too much about the air pressure right now, because we're working with all the pre-reduced and nice paints. So if the sealer is probably the thickest I'm going to be spraying today, and that's just because it's the sealer. But like all the wicked opaques and stuff, they're pretty nice and smooth, so. Yeah! Alrighty, so. Trying to decide here. We're gonna lay in base colors. And I'm gonna lay the base colors, and then we're gonna call it for today. I don't even know how long I've been live. I assume it's been over an hour, I can't tell. It's an hour and 15, is that what this is? So we're going to try to get a lot of these base colors in here. I want to do gray, obviously, for the rock here, right? And then we're going to, do some nice details in there. But the base will be gray. We're going to do green, obviously, for her skin, right? We have the limelight green we're going to use for that. And then we're going to build off shadows and tones and highlights off of that green. And then you guys say her hair should be green, so we're going to lay the phthalo green over her hair, and yeah, and that'll give us a good base of green so that we can do that. I'm going to try to leave as much of her top white as it is, and then maybe we'll lay in, actually maybe I should start off by just spraying some white, some opaque white, so we can get this top kind of whited out first. And then we could do the gray, then we could do the green, and then we could do the dark green. And yeah, I think we're going to let that dry real good and give it a week, obviously, because we won't be back till next Sunday. But that way, next Sunday we'll come back and we'll have it all ready to be able to start detailing it out, even though just like that with the light. Bro, look at those side muscles. She's fucking ripped. So yeah, to answer your question, Blue, it is. It's high over there, and then I just lower it here. And the reason is you don't want to set your pressure at the compressor, and then if you have a line, so I have the compressor, and then I have a 25-foot line running to where I am. And I don't want the pressure to drop as I'm spraying because the air has to go through that line. So it's 60 psi all the way up to here, and then from here, you know, I tone it down. Right now it says 25, but when I press it, it drops to like 21. If you want to get all precisey with it, you know. Anyway, let me start with some white. That's probably way too much. I don't even think I need that much. Why did I put that much in there? Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you guys can see the difference on camera or not, but it's definitely brighter than the sealer white. Now the cool thing, like, let me show. This is one of those good ways to show the detail of the printer, because this shirt, right? If you see up close on the shirt, like, do you see the texture of the shirt? Oh my God! Look at her skin is smooth, but then look at the shirt. It has like the little fluffiness of the shirt, and it's like that all the way around. Bro, the details, man, the details. Get that nice and white in there. Cool. Rinse this out real quick. Then we're going to do the gray. We'll do the gray, then the green. Yeah, that's really good from a printer that cost me $200. Like, it is honestly paid for itself already, and then like I just keep making stuff with it, and I'm just, every time I make something I'm just like, ooh, that's nice. That's real nice. I keep saying it was a mighty good investment every time I make something. Alright, so I'm just going to start right here. Now, word of, I guess, quick tip. I'm not really going to mask it. If I wanted to be a super stiffler, I would get like liquid Frisket and cover up all the green areas, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just go in with the gray freehand, and then we're going to come in with the green freehand. And then from there, we're going to build up, obviously, where the skin meets the concrete here. We're going to build up some breaks and stuff that'll kind of hide the very edge there. But, say like here, you don't want to get too much overspray over that white, right? You could always come in, lay in like your flame stencil right here. And then you can use that edge to just make sure you keep all the gray kind of down in your area. Right, same thing going up. Just so you don't darken up that other spot just too much, you know. And you can kind of gray out the rest of it. And I feel like the camera's too high. There you go. And we'll worry about coming in and coloring in the lettering. Once we're done with all the concrete and stuff, we can just come back in with a brush and really knock that out. We're gonna just make sure to bring it and like kind of roll it up so we can kind of see underneath these little cracks here. Just to make sure we get everything nice and colored in. Because having this on the shelf, I could totally see somebody picking it up and going, "Where'd you get that? That looks cool." Oh. Going through and making sure I get everything. Once I dump out this gray, there's no more chances. What is it, baby?
I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Sam's.
Okay.
By myself.
Why can't you wait for me to finish?
She doesn't want to go.
Get her ready and then we'll go when I'm done.
When are you going to be done?
I'm just going to do like green and dark green. And I'm done. Because her hair is not purple, her hair is green. So I'm not doing purple. So I'm doing her skin, the base color for the skin, and the base color for the hair. And then next Sunday we'll come in and do all the detail and stuff. If I would have got a chance to sand it during the week, it would have been nice, but I didn't get a chance, so everybody gets to see me work. Good? Okay, get her ready and we'll go.
In like an hour?
Yeah, you have an hour to get her ready.
Won't hurt you. I could go and come back in an hour.
Why? Why are you in a hurry to go?
I'm bored.
Alrighty. So we're going to spray some green. And we're going to use the limelight green for all her skin because it's bright. It's a super bright green. And then we could come back from there and kind of tone down the colors and stuff. What's up, Chris? How's it going? ¿Qué pasa, Cruz? I actually just finished packing up your boxes yesterday. They get sent out tomorrow because there's no post office today, so. Use a little pocket torch to just barely kiss it, and those little strings are gone on the prints. Yeah. If you could, if you wanted to get rid of them, I like those, like the ones that are down here. Well, actually, the one dropping off the E, that's an actual drip. But like the ones up in those little cracks or whatever, it's fine. We don't really have them anywhere else. It's a little too late to put a lighter to it now as well. That would not be a good scenario right now. Alright, so all I'm going to do is come in with the green. I'm going to start just by turning down the pressure for one. Is my chair on the thing or what? I haven't even moved the chair, but somehow it went and climbed on the line. Cool. Alright. I'm just doing my best to try to stay off the shirt. Obviously there's still going to be a little bit of overspray, but not trying to completely cover the shirt in overspray. We're going to give it a couple of coats, so we're going to work our way all the way around, and then go back around again. Now her shirt's pretty straight, but you could probably put a piece of tape on it, but I already know I have to go back, and we're going to kind of go back and do the colors and everything on this. So I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, this is just the base colors, and as we go, we're going to kind of detail it more out. You can see, because we laid down white, the green is like super extra bright. It almost looks like a highlighter green, which that's going to look good once we lay down our other colors kind of coming in. Always make sure to lay it down, get those under areas. And I love my light bar because I can lift it up and I can clearly see where it's not all the way green yet. nice bright green. Oh geez, on camera it looks like neon green. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What's up, David Fiore? How's it going? What's up, Martial Artistry? Sorry, I was all up in my zone over here. What light bar are you working with? So this is a file that's just on Thingiverse that I printed out. And it works really good. If I move this, if I could move the camera out, I'll show you. Alright, now here on the hair, I'm not too worried about getting a light green where the dark green is going to go, because obviously it's going to be dark green, so what does it matter? And it's just going to be interesting because on her skin, we're going to be working light to dark, but on her hair, it's going to be dark to light. So we're going to do the dark tone first, and then we'll try to build up the lighter tones. And because we're working with a 3D printed model like this, there's a really cool trick to just making the higher tones kind of stick out right away. So yeah. I'm not too worried about her gloves because we're going to paint in the gloves with a brush. But I do want to make sure I get all of this, give it at least one good coverage. We'll come back and do another coat before we flip it. Get out of the way, you're getting painted. It's almost tomorrow for France, and your day is just beginning, Lewis. Oh my gosh. The world is a magical place where we all live. It's still the place where we all die, too. Don't forget, so. A lot of people act like they're going to die on a different planet in a different life or something. No, man, we still going to have to bury you or burn you or whatever it is you here on Earth. Unless you find a way to catapult yourself into space. And then you die in space. Then they don't recover your body. But even then, I think your funeral services are going to be held on Earth. At least for the foreseeable future. I don't know about Jeff Bezos, but like all the normal people. You need time to get cleaned up, or Jessica's gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wash my hands. I'm wearing clean clothes. I took a shower before I started, so I'm pretty clean. I just need to wash my hands. I think we did a pretty good job sanding. Look at her. Look at that muscular structure. Oh boy, it looks really good and it's nice. I think we did a good job in prep. Pat yourselves on the back, guys. Pat yourself on the back. We did a good job in prep. Alrighty. I think that's it for the limelight green. I'm going to switch to the phthalo green. And that's pretty much it for today. I almost said tomorrow when we come back. No, next Sunday when we come back, we'll start with the base. We'll get the base all speckled in and looking like rock and real nice. Then we'll move on to her skin or her hair or her skin. No, her skin probably is first. Get all that done. Get the hair done. And then the shirt and the lettering will be last. And her face. Obviously, like, you know, got to do the details on her face. That'll be at the very end. But I do believe we can get all that done on the next live stream. I apologize for not being able to get it sanded beforehand. But life has been pretty fun lately. Yeah. There are some cool things coming though this summer. Once the weather gets warm and I'm actually able to do more projects and stuff. Hopefully you guys like the projects that I have in mind and that we have planned. And yeah, we'll be able to get some cool stuff done over the summer. Like we do every summer. What do we do every night, Pinky? Try to take over the world. That baby dry up. Make sure we get it nice and fully covered. And that it's even. That looks pretty good. Then I'm just going to be careful with her hair here. I might even set up this just to hold her in place right here. Kind of make her like a little nest right here. Then I could even use the rag to like partially cover her face right here, just to make sure we don't get overspray everywhere. I'm just going to kind of come in here. Now we are going to come in with a brush later on and obviously kind of give the edge of the hair a little more detail. But right now I'm just more worried about getting the main bulk of the hair colored in, so that when we come back, we can actually start building the highlights and the detail of the hair. just trying to be careful not to get overspray like all over her face, right? I think we've accomplished that. Just be careful. Work it in nice and easy. Because we still have our pressure up to like 20 psi. It's really easy to get overspray and stuff, so I'm just kind of lightly working it in. Lightly. And just make sure we get a good even coverage all the way around. You want it all to be the same shade of green, you know, you don't want too much blending and fading right at this moment. There we go. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we've accomplished. Oh, wait. Wait, before we get too ahead of ourselves. I need to do the underside of the hair. Let's not forget that. Gave us all a chance to chat. Nice thing. The sanding process is also interesting for us that don't know how. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's always, to me, from an information perspective, right? So like if somebody's looking to do a project, showing the sanding is important. Because I think it's something that a lot of people will forget or miss or not do. And it's a very important part of the process that could just make your finished product look that much cleaner. So prep is always a good thing. What's up, Big Daddy 64? How's it going? An hour late? Yeah, we're almost done too. Done for today anyway. We're gonna come back next Sunday and we'll be able to finish this up. But yeah, like from an information perspective, it's just always good to show at least a little bit of the prep. Obviously, like I didn't show myself primering it or sanding it the first time. You know, it was already sanded and primered here. So there is that. But it is important to keep that in mind whenever you start a project. I've seen a lot of people where they're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to do my little nephew's baseball helmet or whatever. And then, you know, they start by asking, you know, well, how do I sand it? And I'm just like, oh man, like that should have been the first... You know, like the first thing you started before you ever even took on that project is you should know how to do a little bit of prep. Anytime you do automotive type stuff, automotive applications. But that same thinking, mentality, principle, technique, whatever you want to call it, that transfers over to pretty much everything. So if you're going to be painting a wall and you want to get the nicest detail, sometimes sanding that wall can go a long ways. I've seen a lot of people sand walls smooth, and there's nothing wrong with that, and you get really nice designs. But you know, if you're going to do a motorcycle tank, same thing. If you're going to do a 3D printed project like this, even though, you know, it's small, you know, sanding it is still a pretty good idea. Because as you can see, the finished product looks really good. This is not the finished product, but just seeing how smooth her skin is and stuff, it looks really good. So, but that's pretty much where we got to today. Like I said, next time we're going to come back. We're really going to focus in on all the details now that we have all the base colors in. And this will be able to dry. And sometime during the next stream, before I start working too much, we'll get our face done and we'll stick it on. We'll stick everything on. And then the very last thing I'll do is kind of just go in and just some very light details with the brush. But having it all apart is really good because then we can do all the shading and stuff and not have to worry about getting too much overspray, especially like on the shirt, like right here on this edge, right? So it's nice that it comes off in pieces, as well as we could paint the whole backside of the hair, which we wouldn't be able to hit if it was all put together, right? But yeah, like I said at the beginning, this is probably going to be a two-parter, and for sure it proved to be true. But yeah, let me get you guys in this camera, and I'll bring it in close like that. And she looks really good, considering we haven't done anything besides put green in. Just the shadows alone, like right there, like look at them abs, boy. Them and some abs. If you ever want to stop airbrushing, Mike, you have a career in hairdressing. Yep. As long as all I got to do is shave people's heads, I'm all about that hairdressing. Come here, I'll give you a haircut. Just buzz it right off. So yeah, this is just wet, so I'm just giving it a second to dry, but this goes right up on there. Whoa. Whoa. That looks really good though. Considering we haven't done much, it's already looking like changed a lot. Just adding that color already looks really good. So yeah, like I said, we'll get it done next time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me prep. You know, you gotta watch that good old prep. And I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go over to the Sam's, I guess. So that's what she said, right? We're gonna go over to Sam's, and yeah, we'll be back next Sunday where we'll finish her up. And yeah. As always, guys, thank you guys all for watching. Thanks you guys for joining me today. It was really nice seeing all you guys. It's always nice hanging out and talking. What else? Big shout out to Createx, like always, for providing. Look, see, what is this one? These are all. Which one is it? This is the Createx cam. Shout out to Createx for providing the Createx cam. This is the Createx cam, brought to you by Createx. No, big shout out to Createx for providing the paint for today's video. They've been super awesome and supporters of the channel. So big shout outs to them. As always, if you're interested in some stencils and you want to help support the channel at the same time, going over to mikesbrush.com, getting yourself some stencils off of that website helps the channel, bring you more videos like this, so we can all keep learning together. Not leaning together, learning together. And yeah, some of that all goes to the channel. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Thank you guys all for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. Later, everybody.